Hey guys, welcome back to Ace Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain a 2017 fantasy film titled I Kill Giants. Heads up, spoilers ahead, you've been warned. The movie begins with a young girl named Barbara walking through a quiet forest alone. She carries a small jar filled with a red liquid, and she carefully pours it at different spots between the trees. Some kids carry snacks, she carries mystery liquids like a full-time scientist. After she finishes, she steps back and hides, watching the area from a distance. It is clear she has set some kind of trap, and she is waiting to see if anything walks into it. A large, dark hand reaches down and touches the liquid on the tree, and Barbara watches from a distance without making a sound. Barbara lives in a small coastal town with her older sister Karen and her younger brother Dave. Karen takes care of both of them, handling the house and trying her best to keep everything together. Barbara spends most of her time alone, focused on things nobody else around her seems to understand. She believes that giants, massive and dangerous creatures from another world, are coming to destroy her town. To prepare for them, she has built a small lab in the basement of her house where she mixes potions and creates traps. Normal kids have hobbies. She has a full underground research facility. She also carries a small hammer in her bag at all times, one she believes has the power to fight these creatures. She has named it Kovaleski, after a baseball player who was once known for defeating a much stronger opponent. Every day, Barbara moves through her town and marks different locations with painted signs and symbols. The town has no idea it is part of a full-scale war plan. She believes these marks will keep the giants away from the places she cares about. She also sets physical traps in the forest and along the edges of town, checking on them regularly and resetting them when needed. For Barbara, this work is urgent and completely real. While doing her routine checks on the beach, a girl named Sophia approaches her and introduces herself. Sophia has recently moved from England with her family, and she tries to approach Barbara with kindness. Barbara is cold and dismissive at first, not interested in making friends, so she walks away. The following morning, both of them end up at the same bus stop, and they catch the bus to school together, though Barbara keeps mostly to herself during the ride. At school, Barbara moves through the hallways checking and counting the marks she has placed around the building, making sure everything is still exactly where it should be. Her school counselor, Mrs. Mollet, notices this behavior and starts watching her closely and finds Barbara's actions difficult to understand. In the cafeteria, a girl named Taylor starts bullying Barbara, making comments and trying to get a reaction. Barbara does not back down. When Taylor pushes further, Barbara spits on her hand, and Taylor loses control and starts hitting her. A teacher steps in before it goes too far. Mrs. Mollet calls Barbara to her office and tries to speak with her gently, asking questions and treating her with patience. Trying to understand her is like solving a puzzle with missing pieces. Barbara gives very little back and leaves without opening up. Later, when Taylor tries to start trouble again near the locker room, Sophia brings the principal and he suspends Taylor for a full week. That afternoon, Barbara and Sophia end up at the beach together. With Taylor gone and the tension of the day now behind her, Barbara is noticeably less guarded. Sophia is drawn in by how fearlessly Barbara handled the situation, and Barbara, for the first time, does not push her away. A real friendship begins to form between them. Barbara tells Sophia the history of giants. She explains that long before recorded time, the very first giant existed alone. He was enormous and had no others like him, and eventually he destroyed himself. From his body, many different kinds of giants were born. Some lived in frozen places. Some fed on entire villages and left nothing behind. Others bathed in the blood of children. The most terrifying type were called titans, creatures so large and so powerful that even hearing their voice could cause harm. Sophia listens to all of this with growing unease. Barbara tells her that titans may no longer walk the earth, but regular giants are still a threat, and she has been seeing signs that they are returning. This sounds less like a story and more like a full documentary. Barbara shows Sophia the hammer in her bag and explains that it is made from the bones of giants. She tells her it must only be brought out when truly needed. Sophia notices the name Kovaleski written on the bag and asks about it. Barbara explains the baseball story, how Kovaleski kept facing a powerful team and kept finding a way to win, earning the nickname the Giant Killer. To Barbara, this name represents the idea that persistence and belief can overcome something much bigger than oneself. Shortly after, Barbara spots a large flock of birds moving through the sky. They swirl together and form a shape. She also notices something huge on the sea. She takes it as a warning sign and tells Sophia to stay back before rushing toward the forest to investigate. She finds the area where she set her traps and waits, and something begins to move through the trees. A giant presence makes itself known, but before Barbara can act, it changes direction and disappears into the dark. She returns home unsettled, and as the night falls, She hears a strange sound coming from the room upstairs. She builds up her courage and starts climbing the stairs toward it. For a moment, she senses something waiting just beyond the door. She pulls back and runs to her room. The next day at school, Barbara accidentally opens the wrong pocket on her bag, the one holding the hammer. The fire alarm begins to sound through the building. Barbara panics and runs out of the school, and Sophia chases after her. They end up in the forest together, where Barbara moves through the trees looking for signs of giant activity. Sophia tries to tell her that none of this is real, that giants do not exist. Barbara does not listen to her. Then they come across a dead deer lying in the brush. Its body is badly twisted and broken. That is one way to turn a normal walk into a nightmare. Barbara takes this as proof that a giant passed through. Sophia is frightened by the sight and leaves without Barbara. Alone in the forest, Barbara encounters something. A creature appears and warns her that she is too small and too weak, and that the giants are coming before she will ever be ready to stop them. Even the warning signs are getting personal now. Back at school, Mrs. Mole brings up a baseball game during one of their sessions. Something about it hits Barbara deeply, and she begins to cry. Mrs. Mole tries to press gently for more, asking questions in a careful voice, but Barbara grows overwhelmed. She ends up slapping her counselor and runs out of the room immediately. That session ended in the worst way possible. Later, when Sophia tries to talk to her at the beach, Barbara lashes out and shoves her to the ground. Sophia is hurt and angry and walks away. At home, Karen tells Barbara she wants to help and asks her to just talk. She is also frustrated because she hit the teacher, but Barbara shuts her out and leaves the house. Taylor sees what happened between Barbara and Sophia and moves in quickly. She approaches Sophia and offers to share a secret about Barbara, something Barbara has apparently been keeping hidden, but only if Sophia shows her where Barbara keeps her traps and equipment. Sophia is still upset and feels betrayed, so she agrees. She takes Taylor and her group to the beach where Barbara's traps are carefully set up. Taylor begins destroying them, pulling them apart and scattering the pieces. Barbara arrives and finds Taylor tearing through everything she built. She pulls Kowaleski out of her bag and holds it up. Taylor and the others see that it is just a small piece of bone. Before Barbara can do anything, Taylor punches her, and the rest of the group joins in. They beat her until she loses consciousness. That went way beyond just bullying. Barbara wakes up in the upstairs room of her house. The door is closed. Sophia is standing just outside and asks if she is all right. Barbara is terrified to be in that room and demands to know why she was brought there. Sophia, frightened by something she may have glimpsed inside, runs out of the house without answering. Barbara goes to Mrs. Mole's home that evening because she needs to talk. She finds her counselor distracted by her baby, who is crying uncontrollably. Not the best timing for a serious conversation. Barbara manages only a few broken words before she walks away and tells her that everyone is in danger. Mrs. Mole's husband reacts with frustration, and before Mrs. Mole can bring Barbara back into the conversation, Barbara is already gone. Sophia goes to Mrs. Mole at school and tells her that Barbara has not come in for 2 days. Together they visit the house and speak with Karen, who clearly looks very sad. Sophia goes down to the basement and finds a tape recorder. On it, she hears a recording of Barbara's mother telling the Kowaleski story, explaining how the baseball player faced something far greater than himself and kept going anyway. Sophia realizes the name on the bag came directly from Barbara's mother. She follows a receipt she finds in the basement to a nearby game shop, where she finds Barbara alone, and she is playing a game about giants. Sophia tries to reach her and speaks as gently as she can. She mentions Barbara's mother, and Barbara immediately shuts down and runs. Outside, the creature Barbara has faced before reappears. It warns her that a giant is waiting at the edge of the forest and that the time has come for her to prove herself. Barbara runs to an old abandoned train yard. She hides inside one of the rusted train cars as a massive giant moves toward her. She activates the electrical switches connected to the nearby control station, sending current through the poles around the area. The giant is struck and destroyed. When Sophia arrives moments later, she sees the train cars burning and finds Barbara standing nearby, and says she protected everyone. The next morning, news reports warn that a powerful storm is moving toward the town. Karen receives a letter of apology that Barbara had written to her. At the same time, Mrs. Mole calls the house asking about Barbara. Karen tells her Barbara is not home. Barbara is already at the beach, standing in the rain. Mrs. Mole finds her there and asks her to come home. Barbara refuses, saying the giants are still coming and she no longer has her hammer. Mrs. Mole speaks to her carefully and brings up her mother directly, and says she wants to see her because she is sick. Barbara pulls away and runs. At the shoreline, Sophia finds her. The storm has fully arrived and the rain is heavy. Barbara tells Sophia to take shelter in a small structure nearby. She walks toward the water alone. A titan rises from the sea, far larger than anything she has faced before. And this is where things get way bigger than expected. Then light begins to glow from inside her bag. She reaches in and finds Kovaleski has returned. She holds it up and charges at the Titan and tells it that it will not reach her mother. She strikes it with the hammer and the creature falls back. That tiny hammer is doing some serious work. But then the Titan speaks to her quietly. It tells her it has not come for her mother. It has come for Barbara herself. Barbara is stunned. She understands in that moment that she cannot protect her mother from what is coming. The Titan lifts her from the ground. She strikes it one more time, and they both fall into the ocean. Underwater, Barbara sinks slowly. She hears the Titan's voice around her, telling her that every living thing must face an ending. Running from that truth means running from life itself. The voice tells her that the time she has should be lived fully, that nothing should be left unfelt. Barbara begins to swim upward and pulls herself back to shore, where Sophia is waiting. Barbara goes home and climbs the stairs. She opens the door to the upstairs room. Inside, her mother is lying in bed, very ill and barely able to move. Her mother looks at her with deep relief, because she had feared she would never see her daughter again. Barbara lies beside her and holds her close, and she apologizes for staying away for so long. Everything Barbara had built, the traps, the potions, the giants, all of it had been her way of fighting something she could not bring herself to accept. Those are the kinds of stories her mother used to tell her when she was a baby. Her mother was dying, and Barbara had created an entire world around the belief that she could stop it. Sometime later, Barbara's mother passes away. Barbara grieves with her siblings, but she does not run from it this time. She begins to reconnect with Karen, and the distance between them slowly eases. She returns to school, and when a teacher asks the class about their summer, Barbara speaks quietly about the time she spent with her mother. She sits with Sophia, and they talk the way real friends do. One night, as Barbara is settling into sleep, she hears a sound from outside. She goes to the window and looks out. She sees the giant standing at the edge of the water. It is watching her in silence. Barbara looks at it for a long moment and tells it she is going to be all right. She is stronger now than she was before. The giant remains still for a moment, then slowly disappears back beneath the water. Barbara turns away from the window and goes to sleep, and the movie ends. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.